Yes, I might as well just go live. Well, hello. You're all you're all thinking, hang on a minute, Rokk, where's the old countdown and the intro and everything? Well, if I'm honest, I ballsed up. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We could go live. We're late. We were just remarking on the fact that Duncan was tucking into his sweeties and being a very greedy boy. He was offering them to us, but as you could probably imagine, Raph and I were definitely not in the process of getting any of Duncan's sweeties. But never mind. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. Good morning. Welcome. It's Wednesday. It's Rock Around the Clock. It's minus the intro and everything else, but who needs all that stuff anyway? Let's get down to real business. First and foremost, I'd love to welcome my two amazing co-hosts. For the first week with all of us together, we have the fantastic Raph. How are you, my friend? Mate, it's more than a pleasure. We've been waiting for you for weeks. I mean, we just felt naked without you, and all of a sudden there you are. In all your Raph fantastic goodness. It did. The stars came together. Now, I'm being told there's no sound from you, but I am sort of seeing your sound on my... Yes. We'll just get a confirmation on that. Let's try Duncan first, shall we? Duncan, how are you, my friend? I was. I probably prefer the gummy bears, if I'm honest with you. Let's try once more. Raph, let me just see if I can get some audio levels on you, my friend. Yeah, no, you see, I am seeing audio levels, so please do tell me. No, Daz is saying no sound from Dunk either, but I'm seeing audio from everybody. Oh no, I hate it when this happens. Let me come out of the studio setting, make sure that's not doing any damage. It is a trademark, you're quite right, Daz, but it's bizarre when I'm seeing everything at my end. And you're not seeing, but you know, it doesn't matter. We were early in without anything else. Right, so guys, if you want to just sing me a little song or something, anything at all, I don't really mind. Give each other a cuddle or, talk. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. No, I don't blame them either. I don't know what to do because I can hear you and I can see your audio levels. Yeah, well, I might do, and it could well be that it's me. And what I'll have to do is if you guys can sign language, and then I can just interpret. Maybe even in the medium of dance, which I can assure you is something to behold. No, you don't want to be doing that kind of sign language, my friend. Let's whip over, let's whip over to the news, and maybe who knows? Maybe it may all miraculously work, or it may not. It doesn't really matter to me. Look at this beautiful new layout with a drop shadow and everything. Right, let's now try and see if we've got any audio. Duncan, do you want to try and say something? If we've got any audio. Duncan, do you want to try and say something? Nope, stop. I definitely can't hear you. Right, okay. So anyway, I shall tell you a few stories. I went down the pub, and you see, this is bizarre because I am absolutely getting the audio in my audio feed, audio mix, for Raph and the other fella. So the other chap that we all know. Yes, my friend. I never edit this one. This is a live show. But what I will do though is it's a good point because we could call this the pre-going live warm-up session, couldn't we? Because we didn't actually go in with the countdown. So why don't we run the old VT, as they say, and in the meantime, we'll see if we can't try and fix this darn thing and entertain our guests. So there we go. 1 second, and I've got a lovely Radio 4 voice today as well because I'm a bit croaky. So I'm you won't mind if it's just me reading news. So you can still hear me, folks, and that's fine. Because, at the end of the day, what does that matter? In the meantime, I'll have a quick look and see why you're not hearing my co-hosts. See you in a second. Bye-bye. Bum, bum, bum. Can Duncan? No, see, it's really weird. No, I can absolutely hear you. There's no problem with that at all. The weird thing is there's nothing to suggest why it should be an issue. I've got full audio right across the board. Excuse me. Raph is not muted. You are not muted, and that is that. Yeah, well, they'll wait, won't they? If they don't wait, then they're fickle, fine weather friends, mate, aren't they? I mean, I can only do what I can only do, and at the moment, I'm only seeing. And then that's me.
Hello.
Good evening, Rokk.
Balagadu. Manita.
Well, I'm now getting full audio coming through, so let's miraculously reappear. And we're going to do a little test here, folks. You can tell me within the instances of about 12 seconds whether you can hear my friends. Oh, look. Oh, my God, says Jem.
Can you hear it? You can hear us? Perfect.
Yep.
There we go. Look at that.
Whoa!
Hey. Right, they can hear us. We're in business. Welcome. I'm not going through all that stuff again. Let's get on with the news, guys. What the heck? Right. So, look, there's them chaps again. The news today, according to Cloudy with a Touch of Games, or even a Chance of Games, is very, very first one up. It's we go all the way back. We wind the clock back to Thursday the 20th. And the very first thing was Black Myth, which is it's a Chinese game, Duncan, isn't it? It's not one that I don't think we'd even heard of the studio before, had we?
No, I thought you were still talking there, so I was taking a sneaky drink there. This was completely out from the blue. Again, this is not confirmed as coming to Stadia. It is just confirmed as they are looking at bringing it to cloud platforms, but it looks absolutely immense. So it does, and when you actually go into it, it looks like a next-gen sort of game, and it's 13 minutes, and it is, like you said, made by a Chinese developer.
It does look really stunning. I know we had a quick look at this at the weekend as well on Stadia Rocks Live. And it's proper AAA next gen stuff, isn't it? It's basically the story of Monkey. That wasn't me being rude, folks. That was what he used to do on the show. And so Wukong, and we kind of worked out that Kong must be Chinese for monkey, because you got King Kong, haven't we? Kong, you see, King Kong. Hong Kong must be Island of the Monkey or something like that, I'm reckoning. And then a Wukong here, which was probably the Legend of Monkey, because this fellow looks a bit like a monkey, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Journey to the West.
Yeah. Journey to the West. Yeah. Yes, that's right. And I'm not familiar with Journey to the West. A few other people have said that as well. Is that a similar looking game then, Raph? Or
no. Journey to the West is actually the story of the monkey here. Well, Su Wongku, I think it is. And so he goes on an adventure with 3 other people, and they kind of all have. Those 3 people have kind of special abilities, but Monkey has lots of different abilities, and he uses his pole staff. He can turn into anybody he wants, multiply himself like it's like almost like a superhero, but I think it's like a Chinese sort of tale.
Wow, because there's Tripitaka from memory.
Yes.
And Pigsy.
Yeah.
All these characters, and
there was one more, because that was 2 of his companions. There was one more companion.
There was, and so do you think this is what this is based on? Because it did say Journey to the West.
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, so whether Wukong, I don't know whether Wukong is the monkey, but it's maybe that's just the journey of the monkey or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Monkey King, Sun Wukong.
Sandy, Dazadini's just reminded me. Sandy was the other one, the fish. Thank you for that, Daz.
Thanks, Dazadini.
But yeah, as you can see, this looks absolutely stunning. It looks like the kind. Now, the reason we're covering it here, because you're thinking, it was all very pretty and what have you. What's that got to do with Stadia? But they actually have said that what did they say, Dunk?
Is that they're considering cloud platforms like them run the game. So you would hope that we'd include Stadia for it. So because Stadia is probably the biggest cloud platform going there.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get some sort of confirmation about that shortly, that they are going to bring it to Stadia.
Wow. It's certainly the kind of gun, and it does. He says, the game looks awesome. Monkey Magic, mate. That was our childhood, and I know actually that they've remade it. I think an Australian channel remade it, didn't they? And I think there's a new season on Netflix as we speak. The whole Journey to the West thing. If I was flicking through yesterday when I discovered that Star Trek, the complete first series, was on there. I was so excited. I even watched a few episodes after Teat, and I'm that big of a fan. So so that is looking absolutely awesome. Looking forward to that one. The other really quite sad story, really, in comparison, which happened on Monday or Thursday last week, I beg your pardon, was that PGA, everybody got really excited because it looked like it was coming to Stadia. And in fact, everybody got really excited because it was for a second, and then it wasn't. What happened, Duncan? It was almost bizarre.
Yeah, I think it's just a couple of the stories what we're going to do. PGA was doing a bit of the hokey cokey. It was in, out, and they were shaking it all about. And they've actually just fixed it today by the sounds of things. Basically, 2K put out a tweet saying that it was coming midnight Eastern time, so it was like 5 o'clock in the morning UK time, and it did not appear. It turned up at the normal Stadia time of 5 o'clock UK, 12 o'clock Eastern, and then we had lots of people staring at loading screens for a long time because it wasn't working proper. And then what happened was they pulled the game off the store, so no one else would buy it. And then a couple of hours later, it started working again, or more or less working. The multiplayer was still a bit botched in it as well. So we've just got a tweet today saying that the multiplayer should be working now for Founders members. So the PGA was a bit of a mess last week, to put it nicely.
Are you a golfing fan, Raph? Is this kind of game appeals to you?
Yeah, do you know what? It actually does, but I haven't had the chance or even time to play the games I already have right now. So I'm holding off for just a bit until I hit payday and I can spend all the money in the world.
It's the Stadia curse, mate, isn't it? 50 odd games.
So many. Yeah, but you know what? I just want to say this. I don't mind games coming out later in the day at 5 p.m. UK time. Like, for me, that works because it might not work for other people in other parts of the world, but it works for us kind of here. You don't have to take the day off of work anymore. Like, so you get that full day and then you're like, great, I can come home and I can play my game and it should be ready by the time I get home. Like, it was a bit of a kerfuffle, but maybe it was supposed to come out at midnight, but again, maybe all that happened was that they had these problems and they had to sort it out. So I wouldn't feed too much into it. It's annoying, but these things happen.
I agree. I think you're on the money. I think they had issues. They knew there were issues, and they toyed. What do we do? Because it might take a couple of days to fix. Do we take it down? Do we push it up? What do we do? We're going to upset people. I think it's a very difficult one, and that's a really good point that you make as well. You're right. End of the day for us here in the UK, 5-6 o'clock when we normally perfect time. As you've rightly said, we don't have to take time off work. We can get home and play. But of course, for other people, that's odd times of the day. Doesn't quite fit with them. It's a kind of you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, isn't it? It doesn't matter what time you choose. It's not going to work for somebody.
You know, my only issue with the if it's coming date and time is if they announce the time, like what sort of happened here, or sorry, what did happen here by 2K. At least we've got a clear and obvious time when Avengers is coming on, when it's coming, which we're going to come to in the news here. Yeah. As long as it's nice, clear, and it's out there, you can actually plan it. If there was a big game coming, say, well, think of Assassin's Creed, and they don't actually say what time it's coming at. That is where the issues will come, because people will take time off work to actually want to sit and play it all day. But as with Avengers, we know it's coming at 5 o'clock on when it launches on the 1st, which we're coming to. Then you can plan your day around it. Yeah. That is my only issue with it. As long as we get a clear time, that is absolutely fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it is, unfortunately, it is a bit of a regular occurrence, this game. It pops up over a few days. The other, on Friday, as well as more PGA stuff, and we kind of covered that already, we had Spiritfarer, which became available on Stadia. And interesting title. I played a little bit of it. Raph, did you have a chance? I know you've just said you haven't had a chance to play much, but have you had a look at this? You know, have you sort of looked at maybe Gem's preview or the guys?
No, I haven't. I've been following this for quite a while actually before it even got announced for Stadia.
Oh, wow.
Because I think this only got announced for Stadia like 2 weeks ago, but it's been in works for quite a while now, and yeah, I've been kind of following it. I like the storyline. I like the whole cats and dealing with the afterlife and things like that. So I think this is actually a really beautiful game, and I love this style here, like the sort of anime feeling to it. So it's gorgeous, it's my sort of thing. Yeah,
no, it is gorgeous. I can totally understand why you'd like it as well. What I didn't realize and was interesting is that the guys behind it, is it Typhoon Lotus? I forget their name.
Thunder Lotus.
They also do Jotun,
yes,
and the Valhalla game as well. The two, similar kind of independent-looking games, but with that little bit of polish to them as well, and a totally unique story. Yeah, I played about 2 or 3 hours of it. I think I thought it was interesting. Yeah, very nice. You know, the only thing I struggled with, and I've said this on Twitter, is, and I think it's got showing it a bit there, one of the main characters is constantly smoking a cigarette and actually makes a thing of saying, yeah, you know what, food and cigarettes is my main thing in life. And I'm like, well, I don't know, that's really for kids. I don't know if I want to sit my kids down to watch that. So I couldn't quite work out if it was a kid's title or not, but that's just me, folks. Once you're over that, it's a beautiful game. And Dunk, did you have a little play with it?
That's a very personal question.
Well, apart from that, you have a little play with that one all the time, mate. This game.
The game, no, I have not. Like other people in the community who shall remain nameless, I think I may be picking this up on Xbox because it's part of Game Pass. That's that is a bit of a talking point.
It is. No, it
But
absolutely is.
yeah, this game is on. I don't. It's not me trying to say people go play Xbox. It's just you've got that option there. But yeah, I'm likely to play it on my Xbox in the coming days because it is a Game Pass day, Game Pass game. So yeah, it is something which has been on my radar, and just want to shout out Barry, who's done a 2-hour quick look at it, which is on the website if you want more info on it.
Yeah. Excuse me. Eddie says he's been playing it non-stop. I mean, it is a really appealing game. It's very simple to play. And you get lots of tasks and things that you've got to go and do. You've got to build your ship up and go and find spirits around the world on various islands and stuff. And there's some really nice touches to it. And like I always say, it's an independent studio and they deserve to be supported. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Stadia. It's very clear that Google are keen to support independent studios. And obviously, as the purchasing public, so should we be. So that is very good. That was your Friday. There wasn't much, the old PGA stuff. Saturday, nothing. Nothing to report on the starboard bow, Captain. I thought that was quite appropriate there, looking at the old Spiritfarer. Unless anything trickled in, Duncan, on Saturday that I didn't spot on Cloudy.
I know what we haven't had a break in news. We've put an article up every single day, at least one, if not more than one. But I can't think of anything really big or startling.
There was stuff that wasn't Stadia related.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But what we did get on Sunday...
Sorry,
Raph.
to go back to Spiritfarer just for like a few seconds. It is rated teen.
They would have to be because of the tobacco. Yeah. I thought that.
Yeah, and I think the storyline that kind of the thing surrounding it's kind of for a mature sort of people. So yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, and I know with what's it called, Duncan? The Lost Word.
Lost Words,
Yeah.
Lost Words on the page.
Yeah, that one obviously has a very sensitive subject as well. But I felt that one you could sit down with your kids and you could have a meaningful conversation. With this one, I think it's just a slightly higher age bracket.
Yeah.
But,
they're coming for you, Rokk.
That's it. That's
Rokk, they're coming for you.
No, mate. Listen, they've been trying for years. They'll never get me. You'll never get me, copper. Alrighty. So Sunday, we had 8K. There was an interesting little tweet. I don't know. Here we go. So somebody, I forget who, asked the lovely Google Stadia Twitter folk. Just said it was Dustin. Here we go. Dustin said this, and I think I may have seen Dustin in the chat earlier. So Dustin said, "Google Stadia. I am curious if you can speak. I'm curious if you can speak on or if when you guys are going to support 8K and up to 120 frames per second to keep up with the other consoles." And Stadia came back and said, "Hi Dustin, thanks for the tweet. While we're supporting 4K 60, we're looking to support 8K 120 down the road. Stay tuned on our social channels for updates and announcements." Now, this isn't new in the sense that it has been said, various Google development get-togethers and so on, that they will be looking to do 8K. So it's a reaffirmation in many ways. But, I mean, do you think that's on the horizon, or are we talking somewhere over the rainbow?
I think we're talking some way over the rainbow. I am actually expecting maybe a bump coming up shortly.
Do you know why? It's actually at Raph's house, mate. They're coming for him.
I live near a hospital. Sorry, guys.
Fair enough. We support our NHS.
Yeah. With the 8K 120, I think that's going to be a year or two away. But I am expecting a possible bump in the next couple of months, just to keep it on par or in the ballpark of the next gen consoles. But the real 8K 120, I don't see that coming for a while. And just because the next gen consoles are doing it doesn't mean that they are going to be doing it, if that makes sense. It's their top end. It's, in theory, every game on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One could do 4K. or PlayStation Pro and Xbox Series of so many. The Scorpio, it just went out from my head, the name of it. They could do 4K 60 all the time, but in reality, it's very, very rare that they actually hit that sort of spec. And with this next bump, it's going to be the same. In theory, it will be able to do them, but you're going to see very, very few, if any, of the games to do it. When the PlayStation 4 came out, every single game was meant to be 1080, 60. That's what they were saying. We know straight off that didn't happen.
Raph, does it really genuinely matter? Now you can ponder all you like, my friend. So Raph's gone into freeze
kind
mode.
of stuff.
There he is. No, he's back again.
Sorry. Right. I think Greggy Boy actually makes a really good point in the chat. He says this kind of stuff isn't even on the horizon for new consoles, to be honest. And I think if you look at it, it's not really on the horizons for many TVs at the moment anyway, or monitors, only a select few, and there's not that much out there at the moment. So I think while it may be on the horizon, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, really.
No.
Yeah.
Don't.
Oh, well, I'm just going to say I don't care about the resolution. Resolution, as long as it's 1080 or above, that is fine. The number one thing for me in all the games for Stadia is 60 FPS. It just makes such a big difference, and you can notice it straight away. That is more important than the 4Ks or the 8Ks. You get the 60 FPS. Everything else then is a bonus on top of that.
Yeah, and Bryant makes a really good point here as well. Nerf report in chat, it's, the human eye can only see 60 frames per second anyway. I mean, the key thing here is that even if you had 8K 120 today, there's just like the amount of monitors or TVs that can support that is you could fit them all in the back of a bus. So, and I'm always a fan of saying, for most people that play on a television, so with a console or with a Stadia CCU, you're usually sat about 8 feet from the darn screen. Even 1080p looks bleeding amazing. I mean, you've got to be sat a foot away from the screen to notice the difference. So 8K, and I've actually seen some reviews on YouTube where they've sat a 4K and an 8K screen. And then with people sat back on a sofa, they've gone, which one's better? And they've actually gone the 4K because it was down to contrast at the end of the day. And that was the thing that got their brains and their eyes really going. So although technically it's possible and undoubtedly it'll be a selling point in the future, whether it's going to improve the actual enjoyment of the game, that's a moot point, isn't it, really? So I think we're all in agreement on that one. Very good.
Yeah.
Now, that was pretty much it on the Sunday, if I can just...
Yeah, it really makes a change of us all agreeing on something where there's no outlier, which is usually me.
Well, on Monday, just a couple of days ago, we found out that Cyberpunk is going to have free DLC, a la Witcher 3. What does that mean?
Basically, what that means is when The Witcher 3 came out, they supported for about, I think it was 3 or 4 months with a load of free content. Some of it was like small things, like a couple of skins. Some of it was quest lines. And so there was actually some big ones, like a New Game Plus. So they're just saying they're going to support some of... just add more content into the game for free as the game's matures, and it's just called post-launch content. There will still be paid content, more than likely, to like big proper expansions, but this is just like, thank you for supporting the game. Here's some more free content. Don't be expecting big, mind-blowing, massive add-ons. It's just some nice things, just to bolster out the game a bit more. So you've got more things to play in the coming months after the game launches.
You looking forward to Cyberpunk, Raph, or it doesn't really float your boat?
Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I am looking forward to Cyberpunk. I like the kind of direction that they're going with this game, in the sense of they're trying to give you as much as you can for your buck, if that makes sense. They're not trying to do that thing that all games go, right, this game's coming out next month, DLC will be on the way in the month after. So I'm actually looking forward to this game. It's one of those games where I'm a fan of GTA, but I prefer the sort of futuristic gameplay, and this is right up my alley.
I think you make a really good point. I have to say, not that I know them personally, But I do kind of get the impression that CD Projekt Red are like that. They've always got the gamer in mind, haven't they? And I think that reflects well on them in the community. I think people feel that vibe, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. They're very interactive, which is nice.
Yeah, and just to add into that, a lot of people may not know they actually are part of GOG. CD Projekt Red, or CD Projekt actually own GOG, the games, PC games storefront, where you actually download the games and you probably own them, if you know what I mean. You don't have a license.
DRM free. Digital rights management,
exactly. So you can get straight in and you can download that, and they always give goodies and stuff. They encourage developers to give like posters, soundtracks when you buy the games, and they just call them goodies. So yeah, CD Projekt are well into this sort of stuff. So this wasn't really unexpected, but it's actually it's just a good thing just to confirm it.
Yeah. And I've got a confession to make, Raph.
What's that?
I did buy Cyberpunk, or pre-ordered it on GOG. I got a few quid off, and I was helping the boys.
Yeah,
but I cancelled it this week.
Why is that?
I cancelled my pre-order, mate. I'm sorry. I did it because I want to buy it on Stadia, don't I? I want to buy it on my favourite platform, mate. Well, I was a bit. You know what they say about repent at leisure, and I sort of, I'm going to buy it. I'm really excited, and then for ages I thought, why did I just pay 50 quid? I'm not even going to see it till November. Why don't I just wait until it comes out and get it on Stadia? So I cancelled. They were very good. They gave me my money straight back. They had no quibbles whatsoever. They waved as I left. Said, please come back soon. But, my little Polish friends.
Here's a question for you, though. Was it a physical copy or a digital copy?
It was digital, mate.
Of course.
I can't remember the last time I bought a physical. Do you know, the last time I bought a physical copy of anything was probably Red Dead.
Okay.
Red Dead on PS4. I think that was probably the last physical. Or was it Death Stranding? It's one of those two. But yeah, no, I thought, now, look, why have I done this? I'm going to be sat 10 feet back from the screen. It's going to look amazing no matter what. And Stadia is the perfect platform for a large game like this. No patches, no big downloads, no big updates, the whole works. So yeah, that was my decision on that. I'm quite pleased I made that decision.
Yeah, short load screens. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Also, on that day, now I've got to be careful because you didn't put Elder Scrolls, you put ESO. And on the 24th, on the Monday, there was a big patch. And in that patch, we had a massive boost up to 4K. Do you play ESO, Raph?
I was actually playing it just before we came on here. I saw this article like really late, obviously. And I was like, no way is it upgraded. But I don't tend to play it in 4K because I have this sort of tablet laptop thing.
Yeah.
But I don't have an Ethernet cable for it.
Gotcha.
Which I have ordered today. So I kind of play it in the medium setting, the 1080p. And it actually looks a hell of a lot better than it did before. So I was very impressed with that. So I can't wait to get my Ethernet adapter cable and put it all in there. So,
Did you buy Greymore? Did you go to the full hog?
Yeah, I did actually.
Did you? Have you got there yet?
No, this is the third time I've played it.
Oh wow!
I've had the chance.
Yeah, it does look amazing in 4K. I mean, it's a big boost to the textures. It's nice and crisp. Obviously, again, one of the beauties of Stadia is that it just runs on their machine, so you don't suddenly see your PC grinding and sort of blubbering along because you've decided to whack it up onto ultra high textures or anything. I can't see you as a Elder Scrolls guy though, Duncan. Is that your thing?
Yeah, you're big in with your assumptions there.
I'm just trying to keep the conversation going, mate.
But Elder Scrolls Online I haven't started yet, but I actually do like my RPGs. So I will have a proper go at this at some stage. But yeah, this is good news. Updated to 4K and I think HDR as well. So always good to get it all polished up even a bit more.
Yeah.
So this is a good news story. This is one of the strengths of the platform because guess what? We didn't have to download these new 4K assets or anything like that because it's on Stadia.
It's a massive thing.
Yeah, and people won't actually realize how big of a thing that is until the next gen consoles come, and most games are going to be in 4K, and the amount of space it's going to take up in the hard drives.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed other games seem to be running a little bit prettier as well. Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks nicer. Breakpoint looks a little bit nicer. Is it just a bit of wishful thinking, or do you think they've had a little bit of a boost as well?
Sorry, go on.
No, go on, Raph.
You go
Don't worry
first.
about him, mate. He never
I was
stops
going to
talking.
say a while back, I was talking to Mark Battler, the guy who the creator of Lost Words.
Yeah.
And he was saying that Google had been kind of egging him on to push this 4K 60 frames per second thing. And I think that's what Google's trying to do. They're trying to make everyone get to this point of everything is 4K, 60 frames per second, and making every single game accessible so that you can remap the controllers and make it accessible for those with disabilities. So I do think that all games are being pushed by actual Google
Behind the
to actually
scenes.
be brought up to the
Wow. That's what did he say? I mean, because that is a 4K game, isn't it?
it wasn't
I think he
before
said,
the last Connect. No, I spoke to the person just before the first Connect of this year, and then it got pushed back because of the Connect, so then it launched the week after.
Wow.
So I do think Google's speaking to people or developers and saying, right, it's on there now.
Yeah.
Now let's boost it up to this.
Because, of course, one of the reasons why most games don't is simply because the time it takes to create the assets and optimize them, and then to get them in a format where it's just not a big grindy blob. Well, whereas with Stadia, they don't care about that. It's like, take as much hard drive space as you want, boys. You don't need to optimize your textures. Just fill your boots, get them up there. We'll take care of the whole streaming stuff. Nobody's ever going to know. Whereas obviously if you've got it downloaded to a PC and the PC has to unpack the textures and it has to have all the storage space and so on, it's got to be a consideration. And you look at the size, Duncan, of I know we're going to talk about this in a minute, funnily enough, but if you look at the size of, say, a Call of Duty download, which has just eye-popping graphics, that's because that is largely the scale of the textures and the graphics that are going on there.
Yeah, but I think when Stadia is going to start to shine is when these new consoles come out. It is with all these 4K, the 4K graphics take up a hell of a lot of space. And with every game going to be at least 4K or have some sort of 4K assets, or if they're even doing the scaling, it's just going to be absolutely massive. And with the hard drive spaces being that small, we think 1 terabyte is masses of storage, or a lot of people think that's masses of storage. It's not, and the PlayStation isn't even a terabyte. Call of Duty, as you said, is over 100 gig. And that's just one game. You start on adding all these other games onto it, and it is just going to run out from space so quick. I'm not sure what anybody else is like. I have lots of games going on at the same time. I'm a bit of ADHD or something. It's I want to play this, I want to play that, and I want to do that. This is why Stadia is so much better for me. It's because I don't have to worry about the storage space, and that is going to be a big thing going forward.
No, totally right. And then also on Monday we had little Sabrina coming of age. Now she hasn't. Those of you that don't know, Sabrina is the code name for the forthcoming update to CCU, the old Chromecast Universal. What's the U bit stand for again? I've lost my brain on this. Anyway, ultimate, whatever it's called. And this is likely to be almost like a Fire Stick 4K. So it's going to have an Android TV operating system. It's going to come with sort of Stadia baked in, possibly allow you to run alternative controllers and stuff. But why is it big news? What happened on Monday? Duncan.
Oh, with the Sabrina news? Yes. My head has just went completely blank
I shall
here.
tell you, it was because it got clearance from the FCC. in the
Yes,
States.
exactly.
Which is obviously one of the precursors. A bit like when we see a game cleared at the ESRB or PEGI or what have you, and we know that it's then just around the corner. And Sabrina, which won't be called Sabrina, of course it won't be, will be coming with a remote control and almost certainly with an Ethernet port. And it's just going to be the next level for Stadia, I think. And we, therefore, I think can confidently predict that it's going to be coming out in time for, I would say, probably the early fall, in time for Christmas and all that malarkey. So yeah, that's one to look out for. I just love the fact they called it Sabrina because it gives me all sorts of fun and games to see. It's like she's no longer a teenager. She's coming of age, bless her. Do you play largely with CCU, Raph, or are you? And you mentioned a tablet just now, so you're more of a browser guy, are you?
So when I stream, when I used to stream, I only use my Chromecast Ultra because that was the best thing to do it on. It gave me the crispest look. It was just the easiest one to use, so I could have my laptop, play on the Chromecast Ultra. But when I'm sort of having like almost family time / TV time, we all kind of, she's watching Netflix, my little girl's watching things on her iPad, and then I'm playing my thing on my little thing. That way I can still keep an eye on everything and around the room. So yeah, I'm a bit of both, but mainly portable sort of streaming.
And out of interest, does that impact the kind of game that you prefer to play? So in other words, some of them obviously are quite detailed and therefore like your character's tiny and everything. So does that mean that you prefer to play games on when you're on the smaller screen that are, you know, maybe those games that work on a smaller device graphically? Or does it not impact you at all? Do you just
Is Raph there?
He'll come back.
He'll come back.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
No, there we go.
Sorry, guys. I would say that it doesn't impact me in any way, shape, or form. Really, it's more on what I'm doing and how much time I have.
Right. Okay.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No, interesting. And to see for me, as man of a slightly older senior age. And I've got to, unfortunately these days, I've got to wear the old specs if I want to look at anything close up. So I tend to avoid the smaller screens because I can't be bothered to put them on. So, you know, it's just interesting how it affects different people. I mean, Duncan, you wear glasses anyway. Does that impact you on looking at smaller screens?
Yeah, I'm really blind now, so I need the biggest screen as possible, so just so I can see what's going on. Playing on the mobile, I haven't really had a chance to do yet. I've messed about it for about half an hour or so, but I'm an iPhone user, unfortunately. So it's a big Apple house here, so it's iPad, so we can't actually do it. When I've been playing on other devices or other products like Shadow, it works absolutely fine. And I don't mind it that much. But again, it's only messing about. When I'm playing, it has to either be on the big monitor or on the big TV now.
Yeah.
If it was playing on the mobile, it would have to be like just pick up and go games, something you can just put down. I wouldn't be playing big long gaming sessions on a phone or a tablet.
No, fair point. Also on the Monday, Typhoon Studios, who, as we know, developed Journey to the Savage Planet, which has never come to Stadia, although, interestingly, just before they launched, they were purchased by Stadia. But they announced in a tweet that they're actually working on some exclusive stuff for the platform. No huge surprise, otherwise why would they have bought them? But it's the exclusive stuff bit, which kind of implies to me that it's more than one game, Dunk.
I was actually thinking something completely different. It might not be games. It might be testing out features. They're like maybe how to show off crowd play or something. It's the stuff is very, very intriguing. It could be more than one game, as you say, or it could be features. It's another thing to take from this as well. Are they part of Stadia? Have they been enveloped in there and been amalgamated into one of the other Stadia studios, or are they still a separate studio? there's so much to actually, there's so much I want to actually.
You've given this some thought, mate.
Me
Me and Raph are just going to let you get on with it.
Yeah, this is unusual, me actually having the actual thoughts and stuff. Yeah. We just haven't heard anything about them since they've been amalgamated. They've been taken over during their ports to Switch and a bit of DLC for it. But we don't know how Typhoon Studios has been actually amalgamated into Stadia. Is it still separate or is it in the other? There's just so many questions. For me, it's very, very intriguing. I have actually given it a bit of thought.
You're very good. I think it's still a shame that we never got Journey to the Savage Planet, mind you. That looks such a good game. You got any thoughts on this, Raph, or do you think Duncan's kind of exhausted it?
I was going to say, what is quite interesting is the different ways you can interpret it.
Yeah.
So when they say they're working on new exclusive stuff for the platform, could they still be?
We'll never know.
We're working on this game, but we have some exclusive stuff that we're going to be bringing to this game for the Stadia platform.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, so potentially could be Journey to the Savage Planet, but now we're working on some new exclusive stuff. I see. That is a really good interpretation. So it could be that we're adding stuff for this platform. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you guys are really giving this some thought. Either of those things, any of those things, I think would be amazing, wouldn't they? I'd love to see this game come with some. I've not seen the game in the flesh. It's not like a multiplayer type thing, is it? It's a kind of
two players.
Is it? So it's a co-op. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could do you could sort of bring people in to play with you and stuff then.
Yeah. Drop in, drop out sort of thing.
State share, that kind of malarkey. Some of that stuff. Wow. Okay. Fantastic. Well, I look forward to that. Whatever's going to happen. Could you get in touch with him for me, please, Duncan? Get him to elaborate.
Yep, I will do. I'll work on that now for you, Rokk.
If you could, mate. We also found out it was a busy old day Monday. We also found out that there are, well, sort of 19 games, according to the Peggy website, that are potentially coming to Stadia, including our friend SpongeBob here in the battle for Bikini Bottom. Duncan, what is it? What are all these games then? Why haven't we heard of them before? And some of them we have, and some of them we've already got.
Okay, this is going to take a little bit of explaining. If you go onto the Peggy website and you do a search for Stadia games, these games will show up. However, they do not have a label with it. It says like they're for PlayStation, Xbox, etc., but there's no Stadia label on it, but they're actually showing up on the Stadia search. So it looks like they haven't actually made the Stadia label live yet. Again, these games getting shown here, it does not mean that they're coming to Stadia. It's just an indication of it. And what actually lends more value into this is because some of these games, excuse me for a second, some of these games like Sekiro, Hello Neighbor, Uno, Sniper Elite have already been announced as coming to Stadia.
Yes.
So a Monster Jam Steel Titans that was announced some time ago that was coming to Stadia. That just popped into my eyes there. But so this will give more credence that that these games are going to be coming to Stadia. So some of the new ones which haven't been formally announced are SpongeBob SquarePants. It has been on the trailers, but it hasn't actually been told that it's coming. Surviving the Aftermath is on this list, which is a survival game.
Yeah.
We've got Risk of Rain 2, which is a brand new game. It's just been put into 1.0 over the last couple of months. Into the Breach is a game from Faster Than Light developers who are, this game is out on PC and Switch. Monster Jam Steel, before we know about that. Far Cry New Dawn is like the expansion to Far Cry 5. It's sort of set in the same world as that, which is actually on the list as well. Outward, I'm not actually that too sure on. Sorry. Hello Neighbor, we know about Gardens in Between. I think that's on Game Pass, or was on Game Pass, as another story-driven game.
Okay.
Humans Fall Flat has been out a while. and the two Hotline Miamis, which were listed on the Germans rating board, and Saints Row the Third, the full package, which was also rated on a different rating site as well. There is a complete mix of games there, and I said this last night. There's not a game there I wouldn't give a try on the system when they come.
No, true enough. I thought yes, because I mean, I'd say a good half of these we'd sort of were on our radar, wouldn't you say? Maybe half of them.
Yep, a good load of them. About half of them were on our radar, but they've never shown up before on the rating sites or on Peggy before. No. So this actually adds into these other games that they may come to the system.
Raph, do you know, I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on this, but has there been any kind of correlation between how, when we see stuff show up on the rating sites and when they actually appear on Stadia?
I think it varies for different games, really. So in the first Connect, we had, what was it? Zombie Army, what, 4? Was it called?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
And that came up like hours before the Connect was. And then we have a game like, what's one that's coming to Pro?
6 of them.
No, Bomberman. We had Bomberman. And that rating came, I think, at the beginning of this month or just a week before the end of the month. So sometimes it can take hours, it can take a whole month or 40-something days.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they've done this on purpose, the whole hidden it thing, but they've just hidden the tag. They've still got it tagged, but they've got the name hidden. And I think that's because I reckon that something might be coming soon. But they're not going to announce it as early as they did the last one because of the whole kerfuffle that happened with the last one. So I think they're just trying to do almost everything and temper people's expectations before it happens. And I think maybe in like a couple of weeks we might get an announcement of something coming, and then
you've got me thinking there, Raph. A lot of these games, and this is no disrespect to the games, like I said earlier, I think I would want to play a lot of these games. Could this be like, I don't want to say bulking up, but it is bulking up the library for some sort of maybe Game Pass-like system to get more games out there? Because as we're seeing with the Pro subscription, we're not just getting 1 or 2 games. Initially, like we discussed in one of our podcasts, it was actually meant to be 1 game a month. We're getting like 4, 5, 6, 7 games a month now. Could this be building this Pro library up so we're getting trapped into the ecosystem?
What do you think, Raph?
Sorry, Duncan, with you saying that, it is really and truly starting to bulk up, and it's going the same way of sort of the Epic Store and PS Now, where you actually get to keep these games, and it's getting to the point where you can compare it to Game Pass, but it's not the same as Game Pass. No. You're getting these games and you're getting to keep them for £9 a month. And it's not, I'm not going to say it's starting to get ridiculous, but it's starting to get ridiculous because the amount of games that I have, a lot of these I wouldn't be able to purchase if it was just like in every sort of couple of days, couple of months, that 10-5 games. Like these games are actually starting to build our libraries and we're getting to keep them, and it's starting to you're more comparing it to like an Epic Store or a PS Now rather than a Game Pass where things get taken on and taken off. So for me, that is a very good shout on the whole building our libraries to get us stuck in the ecosystem, because the longer you're subscribed, the more you benefit from them.
You know, if you're, as we are, if you're a founder, Stadia founder, I think you've now got, if you've claimed every game, I think you've got 48 games in your library. And as you were saying, Raph, with something like the Xbox Game Pass, there's a rotational system. So you get to play them for so many months and then they get rotated out even if you haven't completed it. But that's not the case here with Stadia. If you claimed it, it's yours forever. They'll just keep paying the developer, or it was all part of an original payment system. And it is bulking up. I think if you join today, you get 26 games that are available to you. If you were there from the beginning, you claimed every single one. It's about 48. I think Clive and I sat down last night. We worked out that in about another year, we'll be well over 100 games in comparison to Game Pass. So you're right. And what I also like is it's not just stuff. It's not just tat they've brought in. They just, there's load of old Android stuff sitting over here. This has all been really carefully curated, really good quality independent games, quality AA and AAA games. And they've even gone, as you were saying earlier, Raph, they've even gone to the developers and said, look, can't you make it 4K, embellish it a little bit? Could you maybe add in some of these features we're working on? We want to bring added value to our audience, to the consumer, to the pro gamer, or even the free Stadia gamer, so that it isn't just, oh yeah, here's a pile of old games. We'll have a look in a second. We're going to whip on a little bit now, but on Tuesday, so yesterday,
Can I just say something here?
yes,
For
you can, my friend.
I'm just going to shout out Stadia Source for getting this. Some of the games out here first. So there, I'm just shouting that out there.
Oh right, yeah, okay, absolutely, yeah. No, Stadia Source. I think we're about 5 hours ahead of you, mate, weren't they, on that one?
Yeah, but we don't want to go down that route.
I wouldn't stir a pot. That's
No,
not the kind of thing I do.
Not at all, Rokk. Not at all.
Listen, I just read tweets. That's all I do. I just read tweets.
Yes,
right, on Wednesday, let's move quickly on. Wednesday, that's today. We don't want to be talking about today. We can't skip a whole day. Let's go back a day. Yesterday, which was the day before today, we had COD off the menu. Oh no, we're going to touch on this quickly in a second. But Call of Duty, what's going down?
I think we're going to be touching on this later, but
Yeah, so we're going to ignore it for now. I don't blame you.
no, I'll just get to the thing. Yesterday we reported that it looks like Call of Duty wasn't coming to Stadia because it's not getting mentioned anywhere. But we'll leave it there for the time being.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll whip on quick because I'm cognizant of the time. We also had, of course, the September Pro games yesterday announced. I put September Pro aims. That will never get us anything in the amazing cloudy search. Here we go. It was I have to say, they keep doing this. I think we've had. So this is the third month where we had either 5 or 6 games. Before that, 4, 3, and then if you go back far enough, the first 3 or 4 months were 2 games. So there's been this constant build-up to where we are now with 5 or 6 games per month. And again, these are amazing games, aren't they? Raph, what are your thoughts on how they're spoiling us at Stadia?
Right. So let me just point some things out right here.
Yep.
So we're getting 6 games this month. 2 of those games are Ember and Metro, which we've already had on the system. I think all of the Metro games have been on Pro now. So
Yes.
if you're like me, you're lucky enough not to have to purchase any of them.
Yes.
4 of these games are new to Stadia, which I quite like that Stadia's using this language now, the new to Stadia.
New to Stadia, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So Hitman and Hello Neighbor are I would say the new to Stadia ones. And then we have Gunsport, which is a new game. And I think this is the first on Stadia and only on Stadia right now. Bomberman are online, which is actually technically a new game. I know there's Super Bomberman R, but Super Bomberman R online is actually a new game if you go on the website and look at everything. So I think these games are amazing, and the Super Bomberman R online is the one to watch. But it's also the tricky one because you don't know if it's going to launch with that crowd play feature, which we all hope it does.
Yeah.
But if it does, the other thing that we need to look out for is, does Mortal Kombat also get this sort of update where we might be able to use the crowd play in that as well? So there's a lot of things going on here. A lot of things to be excited for.
Do you want to jump in here with my amazing thoughts?
Yeah,
go.
Go for it. Here we go. Uh, I'm going to say it's a very good month for Stadia Pro. I'm not going to say it's a great month. I think it's a very good month for Stadia Pro. Also, it beats PlayStation's PlayStation Plus this month by an absolute mile. And I think that's the first time I can say that with an absolute clear conscience that it is a really good month. I'm not saying great, but it is really good. With the games here which are coming, which all slip my mind. Super Bomberman there's a couple of things to bear in mind here. It has not been confirmed that crowdplay is coming at launch. So I'm hoping we get confirmation maybe tomorrow that it's coming at launch, because if it was, you would think there'd be a big song and dance about it coming. So,
yeah, I mean they do say in the trailer that 64 people can play, but it's the ability to line yourselves up in YouTube and then next one in you can play and so on. That's the feature that you guys are referring to, is it?
Yeah, it's like the return to the arcade, that's what I like calling it. It's going back to the old school arcade where you're queuing up the person on the quarter or 10p or 20p up, next person plays. Yeah, that's the feature we're talking about. It has not been confirmed as yet that it's coming at launch, so I don't want to say it's coming at launch. I'm still iffy about that. Also, it should be noted the terminology. We all thought this was going to be a Stadia sort of exclusive game. It is not. It's a first on Stadia game.
Right.
The terminology has a change, so that is something to bear in mind as well. So with Super Bomberman, I am hoping that it's going to get cross-platform multiplayer when it actually goes on to the other consoles and PC, when it eventually does. How many months or weeks down the line that is. The next game is I think we've discussed Hitman and Hello Neighbor to death because we knew they were coming. Gunsport, can I say I'm actually really proud of myself for this one? I called that in our prediction show.
You did very well.
Yes, so I think that was a lot of people seem to have forgot about that one. So that's one to keep an eye on. I think it could be a bit of a sleeper. That one, Metro was an easy guess, but we're going to get that at some stage. So for me, it's been a good month. I'm missing a game here. What game have I forgot about here?
Well, we've got Hitman, we've got Bomberman, we've got Ember, which of course was on
Ember. Yeah, Ember. It's just had a big update as well. So
Okay.
Here's the thing: we're talking about other games which make it crowd play. Ember's one. They have been talking about getting crowd play onto the system. We've got Get Packed, which is 100%. They've been on record multiple times that they want to get crowd play into Get Packed. And I think one for us would be PUBG. If they can get PUBG with crowd play, that could be a really big selling point, because they've obviously done another deal with PUBG, because remember we've got the season pass last month as well, so they seem to have a good relationship with the PUBG developers, so I wouldn't rule that one out from the equation. What I'm hoping for is most multiplayer games going forward will incorporate crowd play into it.
Now, I know you played Ember when it first came out, and your feeling was, we know that it's kind of in beta stage, and there were some issues with it there. Are you saying now with this patch that it's essentially a properly gold? No, still has some issues.
No, it's still in early access.
Okay.
They've just added more. This is the thing about early access, and something we'll have to bear in mind when Baldur's Gate comes out. It is going to be constantly getting updates. So it's had 2 major updates now to the game. I think it's 2. It might be a bit more, and they just keep on adding stuff to it. So it's not the full game as yet. It's just adding. It's just building. So this game could actually, Ember could work out to be an actual slow burn for people, where
no pun intended.
Did you like that one? A slow burn for people, where in a couple of months it could be an absolutely must-play game because of all the features that they've added to it.
Yeah. Raph, you're I've got this vision of you on your tablet, and I could see Ember being quite a decent game to play on a tablet with a kind of clear, cartoony graphics.
You could possibly be right about that.
Yeah.
Do you know what, the thing is that I find with my laptop is that I tend to play the bigger games a bit more. So things like Elder Scrolls Online or
Yep.
I was going to say Doom, but I haven't played Doom. Like Division, like those sort of games, they actually look crisper on my tablet rather than my TV. Although I have a new TV now, and I specifically got a 4K TV for it. But because of the way I stream, it doesn't give 4K because I have to put it through the splitter, which then doesn't give you the 4K.
Yes.
So I could never show everybody
No, I know.
how that works out.
Yeah. No, and again, I think, once it gets through YouTube's compression and everything, sometimes it looks amazing. Other times it can look just as good at a really healthy, decent 1080p. But either way, they're all coming up in just a few days. I think it's an amazing lineup of games. I've played Metro. I've touched on Hitman. Is that the one where at the beginning you go on like as part of the training, you go on a boat and have to hunt down this guy and stuff and hit him? Is that one?
There's lots of Hitman ones, so I can't actually think of which one this starts off with. Do you not start? Do you start off in the dam in this one, and you go to the docks and as your training mission?
I haven't played any of these.
Have
think
you not?
that.
I think I preferred the older ones myself to the newer ones. The newer ones look amazing, and the kind of the user interface and everything looks really, really stunning. But I found them a little bit too, we're just a bit repetitive. But I definitely am going to claim it. I'll give it a good go. Hello Neighbor is a massive game. I mean, that kind of is what they call a sleeping giant. I know my little nephew George loves Hello Neighbor, and I think amongst sort of the younger fraternity, it's got a massive following. And Bomberman I'm looking forward to for an alternative to PUBG on our Rockstars at Night on a Friday. Getting 64 people in there, having a good old blast, literally.
I'd be up for that.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a bit of a chuckle, that one. Great stuff. Thank you, Stadia. We're all really excited about that. I mean, if you add the value up of all of those games for $8.99, I mean, wow, just absolutely amazing. What else do we get this Tuesday? Q Games. They are... Let me just quickly pull this up. We'll race through these. We'll have to ditch the talking point, chaps, I think. So, yeah. So, basically, Q Games, is that these fellas here that I'm looking at? Or is that a completely different story? That's a completely different story. Oh, here we go. There it is. Duncan, you discovered that they've got State Share coming out?
Yep. Thank you to, I think it was Chiserector. You know what I'm like with my name, so did I actually say that right?
I struggle with that one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Chiserector.
Yes, I got it right. There we go. With that, he tweeted the dev there to see what was happening about this game. For people who don't know about this game, this was actually demoed last year at GDC to demonstrate State Share. This game here...
Oh, it was that one.
Yes, you know which one.
Yeah.
If you click on the video, it should go straight to the point in the presentation, Touchwood. And this game, for me, could become Stadia's first viral sort of game. It's going to be like Super Mario Maker, where you can just shoot off things. Can you get past this bit? Because I've made it really, really difficult. And all this sort of stuff. This is going to demonstrate what State Share really should be. And the best news about this, it looks like it is coming soon by all intents and purposes. So this game, it may not look like nothing, but think Super Mario Maker, where you can, instead of having to put in the codes and look for things, you can just drop people links. We could put links onto the website for this is a fun level. This is a completely and utterly insane level, which you won't be able to actually get past. There is going to be so many options with this game going forward. This game I am extremely excited about because of the potential of it actually showcasing Stadia.
Do you remember this chap? Raph, that when they did the I think it was developers conference, wasn't it, a little while ago? And he showed.
No.
Do you remember this fella?
I do not. No.
Yeah, he was so like Duncan was just saying. Basically, he was outlining the ability to take a state So here I am on this level with this character, with this loadout, and I can't get past this. And literally save that state and share it with somebody else who can come in and take over and sort it out for you and then let you back in again.
No way.
Yeah, state
That's
share.
really cool.
Which is pretty cool. And I mean, apart from also, I mean, they've touted it by saying, you know, you get your favorite streamer, Dr. Disrespect or somebody, and he says, right, you know, here you go. This is I've set this up. This is how I did it. I'm going to save this state now. See if you guys can achieve it in the time I took to do it, and that kind of thing. So you could see all kinds of mini competitions and. Yeah, like you were saying, Dunk, it is actually pretty exciting. It's unique. It's never happened before, has it?
Nope. This is why this is going to be one of the games which could actually break Stadia out into the real mainstream audience. You just share that link and away you go. And again, this is like we discussed when during our predictions show about what games we thought were coming to Pro. I'm fully expecting this game to come to Pro as soon as it launches, just to demonstrate that. We mentioned during that our prediction special that we expected at least one of either Death by Chocolate or Super Bomberman to be a pro game to showcase crowd play for people to actually just jump in and do it. This is what I'm expecting for that game when that launches. Again, I think that, like people have said in the chat, I think this is that what was on the screen was maybe just a tech demo of what maybe he's in his head. That's not going to be the full game, but it's the actual technology which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, no.
I have a quick question for you guys, because so we know Creator has a state share beta version of this. Do you think the state share is actually finished now, or going to be finished by the time this game comes out?
Creator's state share is not state share. I'm sorry to say that's not the way it was intended. I just call that link sharing. That's more like what we actually developed a term for it, didn't we, Rokk? What did we come off with for that? I can't remember it wasn't state share. It was like multiplayer share or something.
Yeah, we did. We covered it off in one of our Sunday shows, didn't we? I forget now, mate.
Yeah,
I know you guys say that, but do you know how it actually works? How Creators One actually works?
No.
So that code can be used in two different ways. So that code can be used as a link to the actual game, so that you come into the same, let's say, state that they're in, so the same level that they're in, so you can play with them. But then there's also another code you can use that will only let you into the creation side of it, if that makes sense, so that you are in that version of the game, so that you can still use that link to get into that version of the game.
Yeah,
but they can update it and you can still access that old version whilst they're working on the new version.
Oh, right.
So it works in different ways. So but like I said though, like that's just the beta.
Yeah. I think that's I think it's well worth pointing out as well, Raph, which kind of I think goes with what you're saying. Google have kind of always said, look, you know what, this you can actually interpret how you want to put these into your game in whatever form you want. So it may be basically be state share. It may not be, it may be exactly the same thing, but these guys have decided to implement it in one way, and Creator have decided to implement it in another. And really, one of the things that I'd said before, Dunk, when we were talking about the fact that they've applied these terms is in some ways it's misleading, because you do look at it and think it's always going to be the implementation that you remember from the last game, and really they shouldn't have given it a name at all, because then it's up to each developer to say, we call this Creator Share, or this is Q Game Share, or whatever, and it's a different implementation but based around the technology. And I think that my only fear is that people will get confused and and actually end up with not the experience they thought they were going to get, but it is the experience that the developer intended them to have. So I think that's an interesting point. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Raph. It is in essence the same thing. It's just that they've implemented it in their way for how they want you to experience their game. We're going to whip through these last ones. I probably won't even put up a screen. Windbound pre-order bonuses. That's coming on Friday, isn't it? Windbound.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to that game. So there was it wasn't an issue, but there were bonuses that you could get if you pre-ordered the game on most platforms. Obviously, at this moment in time, there aren't many games. I think there are 2 where you can pre-order them on Stadia, and they came up and said, you know what, you can have as long as you buy Windbound within 2 weeks of launch, you can have the same bonuses that these guys have had, which I thought was awesome. Another big one, actually, is the Avengers Assembling early on Stadia. Do you want to just cover that one off quickly, Duncan?
Was that the Avengers? Sorry,
Yes.
I've just broke up. The Avengers, good news. It appears that we can get the Avengers on the 1st of September. They've given us a date of 5 o'clock UK, 12 o'clock Eastern. Absolutely fine about that. Tuesday is going to be an absolutely bonkers day. The only thing to bear in mind is you probably will have to buy the deluxe version of the game to actually get it early.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. There is a chance we may be able to just buy the normal version to get into it. But I'm thinking it's going to be probably the deluxe version to actually get the 3 days early. So something to look forward to, and it's been nice and clear on there, and hopefully that the information is correct, because it's Stadia and it's never predictable.
The thing is that's the same thing that happened with the F1 Schumacher thing. So that deluxe edition gave you the 2 early days access. So it's working in a similar way. So I think it will just be the deluxe edition that will get you in.
Okay.
Before, yeah.
So if you're a tightwad like me and you were only going to buy the cheap version, you have to wait a couple of days. That's what basically said. Well, I played it last weekend on the beta anyway, so I'm okay with that. That's fine. I had a little taster. What else do we have? Then bringing us bang up today, we got, so Wednesday the 26th, if you didn't know. Darksiders 3 listed. We've already got Darksiders Genesis, which I bought. And then that was a kind of isometric view, wasn't it? This is a proper full 3D affair.
Yeah, and arguably, I'm not to be negative here, arguably the worst Darksiders game I've played a lot. I still enjoyed it. I've just been playing it. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's my view the weakest Darksiders game, and I like the franchise.
Yeah, I've got a feeling I played it on something. Was it free on PlayStation or something at some point?
It was free on PlayStation, and it's also on Game Pass.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that one well. Another one today was that Deutsche, let me see if I can get the spelling right, Telekom launched or have threatened to launch a cloud gaming platform called Magenta. These are the guys, Deutsche Telekom, if you didn't know, these are the guys that own T-Mobile. And this is going to be exclusively, at least to start with, in Germany alone, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Warlock also found out just some more background. There's a chance this could be pushed out to the rest of Europe as well, because they own EE as well, and along with another mobile phone company. Yeah. So it's something to keep an eye on with this going forward. We probably don't want to go too deep into this.
No, I mean, I know you guys were getting quite excited. I had a quick look at the games, and I wasn't as excited as you, if I'm honest. I thought most of them were, double A's, been around for a bit, but they do have 100. I mean, fair point. They do have 100 titles. They're launching with 100.
It's cheaper than Stadia.
Yeah, it's, what is it, €5-6 per month. So, it has a lot going for it. It's using the Deutsche Telekom network. So I'm guessing it's going to be over mobile. And that will be no doubt 5G. I'm not sure how progressed they are in Germany. Maybe some of the chat will know in terms of 5G. Obviously, different territories and different countries are rolling it out differently. But you're going to start seeing this with 5G now becoming, a more and more prevalent thing. We're going to start seeing these kinds of added value services, because what people mustn't forget is nobody uses their phone to make phone calls and send text anymore. And that was where they used to make their money, right? So it's data services, and they've got to find ways to get you to use their data.
Yeah. Just a couple of quick points here. Nerf Reports is asking about data limits. Data limits are a thing of it. That's
very
more
American.
Very American.
Very American.
Yes, over here we can pick up a mobile phone contract for like 20-25 pounds, so about $30 a month for a mobile phone contract for unlimited data. So data concerns over here in Europe are data caps are mainly an American sort of issue. Just a broader point, but this will probably be a discussion for another time. What we're seeing here, and as you rightly said, we're going to see more of these companies doing this going forward. This is only the start. For Stadia, this is going to become a slight issue because of them being out on their own, using Linux as their operating system. All these games are going to be like PC based, so they can just drop them in, a bit like GeForce Now. This is the sort of issue Stadia is going to be up against, and this is what we just need to be wary of that going forward. If you see all these services pop up, why have they got so many games when they're just launching? That is the reason why.
Yes, absolutely. Raph, you must have a decent 5G network around where you are.
5G. Yes, but they're not up and running just yet.
No, okay.
No, so all the masts are all there. They're all ready to go. Just haven't really been implemented yet. And I'm not on a network that supports 5G just yet anyway.
No, I mean, I'm on 3. And just so that Bryant knows this, I pay £13, about $15 a month for unlimited data, unlimited phone calls, and unlimited texts. Sorry, mate. But yeah, we've got 5G, 3 is 5G. They were the first ones out there with 3G, if you remember. That's why they're called 3 back in the day. And they're pretty much 5G. I think they're one of the more advanced in terms of 5G. I've got an iPhone 11. I think it's 5G enabled, but I don't have a 5G contract, so it doesn't really bother me. And as I've already said, I can't really play on a phone. It's too small for me. But you've got 5G up in your neck of the woods, though, Duncan, haven't you?
Yeah, for some strange reason, backwards Northern Ireland always seems to get like technology first. I haven't got a 5G phone at the moment, but 5G is in our area, so it is nuts. I'm unfortunately Apple user. I am looking at Android because of all the fun and games going on.
Interesting.
With that, I'm looking forward to actually trying 5G because here's to rub the nose into the American friends again. When if I get myself a 5G phone, I just stick my SIM card into it, and then it's 5G enabled because that's how things roll over here. Because we've got lots of competition, so everything like that's automatic.
Yeah, I do feel, and it's no different. I mean, if you look at Canada, they have issues as well. Eddie would know this. Australia has god-awful internet, and for no real reason. It's just largely because of the way that things have evolved. But of course, in countries like India and Africa, where they don't have the infrastructure for old school telephone that we're aware of and where we've evolved, they've gone straight to 4G, 5G, and they have amazing mobile networks, which is why they play predominantly on mobile devices.
Yes,
and that's why everybody wants to be in India, right? Then and Just Dance 2021 confirmed for Stadia. Do you know what? We mock that game, but I know it's massively popular. You guys play it, don't you?
Yes,
I love it. I love it.
My kids love it.
For people who don't know, you play Just Dance with your mobile phone. So you do. When you're playing it, you hold your mobile phone and you do your own moves, and you see me bopping away and all the kids bopping away. It's actually good fun. People mock it. It's one of them games, and it's a perfect game. We all talk about this all the time. It is the perfect Stadia game. You can just have it on there, and you can just bring it out whenever you want. Stadia is the perfect party game sort of system.
Yes, absolutely. And then, very finally, we've got this little bit of news. Now, I know that you did report at one point that you'd heard that Madam was coming, but don't get excited, it's unlikely to happen. And then I think Bryant actually tweeted just before we went live that it has been confirmed by the developers that it's coming this Friday to Stadia.
It has been confirmed?
I'm 90% certain. Bryant can confirm this because he's in the chat. I'm 90% certain I saw a tweet from Bryant that said it is actually has actually been confirmed by the developer that is coming on August 28th.
Okay, that would be news to me. Okay, I'm just having a quick look here because, as far as I know, there's just so many signs saying it wouldn't be coming because there hasn't been an announcement by Stadia. EA have said that it's coming winter 2020. So that would be December time. So as far as I know, it is definitely not coming to Stadia. And I think I've actually got something here. Just give me 1 wee second. I think I've actually seen a tweet here. Yep, it is not coming.
So what Brian's, sorry, Brian, I did try to find the tweet very quickly there. I couldn't find it, but it was a customer service rep. Now, of course, that might mean nothing because, as we know, they're not always given the facts. But you're fairly committed to the fact that it ain't coming this Friday.
I am like 99.9999999% sure it is not coming, because if it was coming, they would be making the biggest song and dance going, because as we're just about to come on to, it is a major game which needs to be on Stadia day one.
Yeah, Jim, Duncan is an absolute news junkie. He lives for those little dopamine hits when he gets the news. There's no doubt about that. Fair enough. Right, them's was the weeks. That was what was happening. We're going to have you guys got 5 minutes to 2:30. We just do 1-2 minutes on the talking point.
Just 2 minutes? Oh, I've got so many.
Raph, you good to 2:30?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all good.
Okay, mate. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to circle back and we're going to look at the Call of Duty news, which has gone up today. And we're going to ask the question, just how big a story is the fact that Call of Duty is not coming to Stadia? And I'm going to start with you, Raph, actually, because Duncan is fit to burst, like a little berry, like a little juicy berry. So let's just let him fester there for a bit. What are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I thought this game was coming. I was like 99.99999, as Duncan sure before. I think this is a bit of a blow to Stadia, but at the same time, it is what it is. It's not going to help if we cry and make a song and dance about it. It's going to happen. We just have to get to that point where we're like, okay, cool. This game's not coming. That's fine. It's going to come later when it matters. The only thing people play with this game really is the online anyway, so it's not that big of a fuss for me.
You're not per se a Call of Duty player anyway, are you? Is it Call of Duty itself, or is it the multiplayer side?
Yeah, but the thing I used to love about Call of Duty was the zombies mode, pretty much. So, and I've got my fix for now, Zombie Army 4.
Yeah,
so
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not a good look, but yeah.
No, I love it, mate. Duncan, you've got a completely different spin on this, haven't you?
Okay. I'm going to preface this. This is not the death of Stadia. This does not mean Stadia is dying. This is just my thoughts on this. This is a pretty big disappointment, no matter if you're a casual gamer or a hardcore gamer or you're a mobile gamer. This is actually big news and extremely disappointing news for Stadia. There is a couple of games which I would swap any of the other day one releases for. If Stadia didn't get the Avengers, I'm putting Cyberpunk in this, believe it or not. Cyberpunk, what else? Assassin's Creed, what's that game called? Watch Dogs. If we didn't get them and we got Call of Duty and FIFA day one, along with Madden, I would swap them all for them 3 games. They are the most important games to get on Stadia because they are the ones who actually the biggest selling games for the platform.
So we've got Call of Duty. We've got FIFA anyway, we know that. We've got Call of Duty. Oh, look, there's that man that used to be a president. So we've got Call of Duty and we're now the same as every other platform. Where's the benefit?
The benefit is that is what they are the biggest games. They
They're
are the
already
biggest game.
being played on consoles and PCs, and why would they come to Stadia if they've already got it?
Because, as we discussed earlier, especially in Call of Duty's case, it will be the patching.
Right.
And along with that is you've got the esports rights to Call of Duty. So you're watching the Call of Duty esports on YouTube, which is exclusive to YouTube. Oh, I like this new map, which has just been released. These are playing. I want to jump in and play it. Bang, you're there. You've got it. Call of Duty should have been at the number one top of their list of the games to get. And when the big updates come out, we've seen the big 60 gig updates, the 100 gig updates, everybody has to download the game. All they have to say, come to Stadia and you can play this. Then we'll go into the mobile market, because the people have been saying, oh, Stadia are only after the mobile market. One of the biggest games on mobile is Call of Duty Mobile. There's over 250 million people have downloaded Call of Duty Mobile. So you get that onto the system, then you can pick them up. Or you don't have to play the toned down version of Call of Duty. You can actually play the proper version of Call of Duty now. This is what they needed now. And yes, we're getting FIFA, we're getting Madden, but we're not getting them day and date. And that is equally as important as actually getting them. If we don't get them day and date, people are just going to buy them on the other platforms, and then that's a missed opportunity, because there's people who just buy FIFA, Madden, and Call of Duty year in, year out, and if you've bought it in one, you're not going to buy it in another. If this is a shadow drop for the Kinect, which is looking extremely unlikely at this time, you've lost people already, because people have put their money down for the PlayStation version to get into the beta. People have already pre-ordered these games. If it is coming to the platform with these big games, you need to have that on the label to say that it's coming.
So
Can I?
Go on, Raph.
Can I just ask a question? Is Call of Duty crossplay?
Yes, it is.
It is with who is it crossplay with? Xbox and
PlayStation.
Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Okay. So there could have been potential for a possible Stadia crossplay.
Yes. Again, this isn't making Stadia. Oh, it's dying. It's not dying. This is a massive, massive missed opportunity, especially if the esports rights. And if they are waiting for a Kinect to do it, it is absolutely narrow-minded thinking, because this is the biggest event going today. 2 million people were watching streamers do this, and that's before even the trailer went up, to see them unlock the trailer. And if the Stadia logo popped up there and said it's coming to Stadia, they need that would have been free marketed. And then now I'm thinking, oh, I don't have to download the patching for that now.
Raph, final thoughts?
My final thoughts.
It's difficult, mate. He's passionate. He's passionate. Look at him.
No, it's not. It's for me, it's just more. I can see exactly where Duncan is coming from, but then I can also see the whole online thing. And do you think maybe Stadia didn't push for this game because they didn't know the state of online play from wherever they were? They didn't think they'd be capable to keep up with it. But then there's crossplay.
Are there any Activision games coming to Stadia?
Yes.
Yes.
Which one's coming?
Sekiro.
Yeah. I just want to say that this is going to be highly unlikely this would ever happen. But if they did somehow secure this massive deal and they brought this to Pro, I think that would be the better way to do it than trying to sell Call of Duty on Stadia. Because if I'm going to go against what you're saying, anybody that already owns COD on another console is not going to buy it for a different console. There's going to be one or two things that they do. They're going to either buy it for the same console that they already have, or the same PC that they already have, or they're going to save and get it on the next generation console, because that's what they're used to. And the serious Call of Duty players, I would say, would just get it on the same console. The only ones that would possibly get it on Stadia are the ones that are already open to the idea of Stadia. I don't think having that on Stadia now would make a difference on bringing in players from somewhere else.
Final word, Duncan?
Yeah, just to go back to Raph and that, but that is the exact point as well. If it's not on the system, it's not going to attract people to go onto the system. You need the yearly franchises as your bread and butter on to make it serious in the Western market here. Even Call of Duty, they need Call of Duty on it. As we've seen, 250 million people have downloaded that as well. Not having COD on the system this year is not it's not a complete another disaster. It is really, really disappointing. And for me, again, we don't like being negative on this show. It shows the lack of joined up thinking at Google, because they've got the esports rights for Call of Duty and all the Activision Blizzard games, but they don't have the flipping games which will be showcasing that. So you're going to see people going to be watching in their hundreds of thousands Call of Duty Black Ops being played on YouTube exclusively, because you won't be able to watch it on Twitch, and you won't have the play now on Stadia button right below it.
Right, I completely disagree, but we've run out of time. So, Duncan, where can people find you if they want to get more of your passion and your insight?
You can find me at One Day Escape on Twitter and Cloudy with a Chance of Games. And I just want to make one more tiny minute point.
Ralph's tea's getting cold, mate.
Yes. My one tiny little point is, we've known about Stadia for at least 2 years. All the big developers would have known it for many years before that, just like Ubisoft, because they had the port across Assassin's Creed. But the time games across is
I said
running out.
final word.
That's me finished.
Shut up. Raph, where can people find you these days?
Once again, you can probably find me here every week on Rock Around the Clock. You can find me on Twitter at _ Raph Gaming _ and maybe possibly you might see me do a Super Bomberman online stream at some point.
Whoa, looking forward to that. Whoop. Yeah, and you can find me here always. You'll always find me here somewhere, or at Stadia Rocks on Twitter. So, gentlemen and ladies, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the show. It's gone on a little bit longer than we normally do, but that's because we've got so much talent on the show. How can I stop these people from pouring their passion and their insights? I'm sure you love it, really. Thank you for watching. Come back again next week, same time, Raph, Duncan and myself with more of the week's news. I hope you have a cracking week, and this is Rock Out. See you later. Take care, guys.
See you guys.